Hello, YouTube viewers. I've had a lot of people comment on my videos, sending me messages, wanting to know what I look like because I'm very seldom in my videos. So I thought I'd show you what I look like today. That should satisfy everybody's curiosity. I thought I'd do, I think it's number 3 of Truth or Lie, Fact or Fiction. Now, this is where you let me know after I tell you the story if it's a truth or a lie, fact or fiction, myth or legend. You can do that by subscribing and leaving a comment. Let me know what you think, and I will tell you if it's a truth or lie, fact or fiction, myth or legend. So here we go with the story for today. Several years ago, I worked in a factory that used to produce stoves, cooking stoves like in your kitchen. The building was huge. It had 2 levels, possibly 3, I can't remember. I know it had 2. One of them was a basement. And when it was the stove factory, there was a man, an older gentleman that wore overalls all the time, that got to working in a press where they stamped out the sides and the doors and stuff for the ovens. He got caught in the press, and the press came down on him and killed him. So they always said that his ghost hung around that stove building. Now, when the stove building business got bought out by another company, they moved everything out of the stove company, and there was an empty building there. And it was a huge building. So a lot of factories in my area rented rooms in that big building and put some of their machinery there. And that's the case that happened in my particular case. So I was working down there in that stove building with the factory company that I was working for. They had rented a spot and had robots set up that was welding and spot welding parts. So in the wintertime at the stove building, there was no heat. It was cold. I'm telling you, cold. And there was a lot of doors, big garage doors, and air came in, and it was extremely cold. You would freeze. And in the summertime, it was just the opposite. If it was 90 degrees outside, it would be 105 in there, and you'd just be wringing wet, just wringing wet with sweat. I would come home and not have a dry stitch on me. And they would give us Gatorades to drink to keep us hydrated where we wouldn't pass out. The water down there wasn't good to drink or anything. We just had Gatorades. So I was working down there one day, and like I said, they always said the ghost of that man that got stuck in the press was still in the stove building somewhere, his ghost. And a lot of people would tell me and tell other people as well that, that they could see him every once in a while. The building was huge, and sometimes you could see somebody walking from the other end of the building, which was far off, coming toward you. And it'd be an older man. You could tell it was a man, and he would have on overalls, but just to the point where you could start to recognize features, it would disappear. So, like I said, I was down there. I didn't believe none of that stuff. I just heard rumors and, gossip. And I was down there working one year, and it was summertime. It's probably August or September. And I was down there working, and it was blazing hot. The only fan you had, any kind of air movement, was the little fan that was by your particular robot. So, as I said, I was down there working. I was wringing wet. I didn't have a dry stitch on me. Sweat just pouring off of me. It was so hot. And they were giving us Gatorades to keep us hydrated. And it was almost my break time. It's about 20 or 30 minutes till my break time. And I'd already drunk a couple of Gatorades. And I normally try to wait till my break time to go to the restroom. But this particular day, I couldn't wait. So I decided I was going to go urinate. So I left my robot, and I went downstairs to the men's restroom. I got down there at the men's restroom, and there's no fans or anything in the restroom, no air conditioning. I'm just telling you, no air movement whatsoever. And I was drenched. It was the latter part of the work shift day, and I was wringing wet. My clothes were just sticking to me. And I went all the way through the men's restroom. I was the only person in the men's restroom. I went to the very last stall, and I started to relieve myself. When I did, and I started urinating, I felt something blow in the back of my neck like this, that hard. And it hit the back of my neck. And so I thought somebody followed me down from, one of the robots and was having a little fun with me like you do when you're working around your co-workers sometimes. And I quit urinating and turned around to see who it was. There was no one there. So I just thought I'm just freaking out. So I went back to urinating. And I started urinating again and felt the same thing on the back of my neck. My neck was just wringing wet. That hard on my neck. And it scared me. So I quit urinating. I was nice and calm, but scared to death on the inside. I quit urinating, got myself all ready to go back upstairs. And, I turned around, no one there. And I calmly walked out of the restroom, calmly walked up the stairs to the main level and took off running. And I ran for a pretty good piece. And then one of my friends, stopped me and they said, "What are you running for?" And I explained to them what happened. And they said, "It must be that man followed you down there that got killed in the press." Like I said, there's a lot of stories about that particular gentleman. I won't get into all of them. And I'm not one to, I don't really believe in ghosts or anything like that. But that one particular time, I never will forget it. And it still scares me to this day. So anyway, I thought I'd tell you this story. Now you tell me, is this truth or lie, fact or fiction, myth or legend? Let me know what you think by subscribing and leaving a comment. And if you like this kind of stuff, let me know. I'll be happy to do some more. Hey, y'all have a good day, and I'll see you later.